Welcome back. Episode 5, Tequila Talks. Griffin Wilson with my co-host, Daniel Bakovich. Today we have a very special guest, long time family friend of mine, Caleb Claton, with the one and only ZoneCoach Consulting, based here in Chicagoland. Welcome aboard.
Appreciate it, Griffen. Thank you for having me, Dan. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Good to see you
as well.
Dan, what are we drinking?
Today we got Don Vicente. I believe that's how I pronounced it correctly. We went over it 30 times before we started. Some fun facts. They won the 2023. They were awarded the Global Champion by Tasting Alliance and Forbes. They're from Jalisco, out that way. I feel like the last bottle we did was also from there, but...
Tequila's from Tequila.
Yeah, okay. I love it. You know what I mean?
Hecho en Mexico.
That's all we really got on this one. Not too much. I mean, they got this is the Reposado?
Yep.
Is this correct?
We are not sponsored by any means.
One day, we always say, like, that's the goal. Like, one day, one of these tequila companies are going to be like, hey, try our, try
2026,
new bottle.
we're getting sponsored.
But cheers.
I like it.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud, gentlemen.
There we go.
And this one, I believe, won the, the Global Taste Award 2023. So,
It did.
All right. It's pretty good.
I like it.
Real smooth.
I'm particularly excited to have you on. I mean, I become friends from you, from Griffin, but, it's nice. We've had other guests on, and they're my friends, but I've known you for a long time, and I'm really excited to kind of have you on and pick your brain today.
I
So
like it.
Do
I like
deep
it.
dive into everything from self-discipline in sports to business and how they go both hand in hand. And super excited to dive everything in and pick your brain and then, see what kind of goals Dan has on the horizon.
Yeah. He's got some big things coming, I heard. But yeah, so I'm an executive coach at ZoneCoach Consulting Services. As Griffin mentioned, here in the Chicagoland area. We are a mental performance coaching and consulting company. Have 3 divisions: life, business, and sports. And at the foundation of everything we do is the SCORE system. That is the federally registered thought management system that, as you know, Jim Fannin discovered. You guys know Jim, and that's the
Proud client of 12 years, 15 years? No, over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're a client of you guys as well. So it goes both ways in that aspect. But yeah, so SCORE is at the heart of everything we do. Federally registered thought management system to attract that peak performance zone state. We've heard of the zone oftentimes in sports.
Yeah.
You see it on ESPN. This guy was in the zone last night, whether it be a golfer, NBA, what have you. But the zone is not just in sports, and the zone is applicable in all performance domains across life, whether that be academics, relationships, parenting, in the business sector, definitely sales, management, leadership, entrepreneurship. But the foundation of the coaching system is built on the SCORE acronym, as I mentioned earlier. And that's just 5 intangible markers that we all possess, innate to all 8 billion humans on the earth. And that's self-discipline, concentration, optimism, relaxation, and lastly, enjoyment. And when we balance those markers at their highest level, whether that be, again, in life, in business, in sport, we can attract that peak performance state. And it's that purposeful, calm state that we have all been in, where you are making decisions intuitively, time kind of slows down, and you have that feeling that comes over you where nothing can go wrong.
Jaws unhinged, 6 to 8 breaths.
Yes.
They're locked in.
Oh.
You don't even think about it.
Oh, no, you're not thinking about it. It's all based off of neurochemicals. So each one of those markers, self-discipline, concentration, optimism, relaxation, and enjoyment, trigger chemicals that immediately flood into the bloodstream that put us into that state. Because the zone is in all of us. At its core, it's just the fight or flight response to severe stress or trauma.
Yeah.
So we've heard the stories of a grandmother lifting a car off of her grandson or something. Like, how in the world is that? There's no way an 80-year-old lady could lift a car off of whatever. But it's just that state. But we want to attract that state, obviously, without being in a life-threatening situation, without having our life in danger, being able to put that on like an overcoat in any performance that we're in.
I mean, you probably experienced being in the zone and you didn't even realize it throughout your football career.
I mean,
you know, you're so
you
locked
definitely
in. Like,
think about this more with sports.
For sure.
I mean, obviously, like, yeah, playing football or doing anything. I mean, we'll talk more about, but you know, we're all pretty active guys. We actually last night, it was great. I ran more miles than both of you guys, so
I think I a quarter or something.
I was about 4 1/4 as well. So then you got us beat.
big fella at 5, so had to take.
So that's the secret yet.
I was definitely gonna bring that. He's got a drunner vest and I could let you guys. I asked him. I texted him right before. I was like, "Hey, I'm heading to the gym. I'm about gonna run 5 miles. You want to come?" He was like, "Oh, I got a meeting."
I got a coach call 6:30. Didn't have to tell someone to.
Right on the clock. I was like, "Seems like we were at the same time, big fella. What happened?"
Yeah, we
He didn't want to run next to me. I understand. But
all right.
I mean, yeah, having another reason, like I said, I was so glad to have you on because we talk about like that mental capacity and you know discipline and you know how discipline is different from motivation. We've talked about it, and like there's a huge difference that Mike Tyson has said, you know, discipline is doing what you hate to do but doing it like you love it. I always love that because discipline
That is
always
an excellent quote. Right?
yeah, love that
I
one.
love that.
And-
Repeat that one, Dan.
Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
And that's from Mike Tyson. Shout out the GOAT. But you know, I love that because motivation only gets you so far. Motivation is the people who like now it's end of January. What are they called? The people who go into the gym.
Quit.
There's a name.
What, the New Year's resolution people?
Yeah, I think
We already had quitters, guy.
Quit was it just second Friday? Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions, those are things that motivate you. But with discipline, I know we go to the gym mostly every morning.
Yeah.
I'm there at 6 a.m. like ready to go.
Exactly.
That's discipline.
Yeah.
I don't need motivation anymore. My motivation is training for something, but
Yeah.
it's the discipline it takes to show up every day. And you know, with sports, life, anything,
Business,
discipline gets you further than motivation every day of the week. But
sure.
and I always like to meet people like you because you're different. He is. Like I've met a lot of like great, crazy, athletic people throughout my like career playing football and all sports.
Yeah.
But you're different. And you got that switch, you know, like, and I played football and being on defense, like, you know, guys.
I think it was -6 out, and you ran 8 miles less.
You see that come through. You see it come through, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I need to work out today. I am lazy. I've achieved nothing. I'm on the couch for 2 hours.
And man, doesn't that motivates? That's like that.
Yeah,
I see
that
you
is
doing that. I go, and just why I brought it up, like, oh, I ran 5, but I can tell you so many times I'll see him log his workout, I'll see you log yours, and it's like if I'm sitting on the couch doing nothing, it's like what a piece of shit. Why? Yeah, exactly. What am I doing? If he's out there grinding, I need to be out there grinding. And you definitely inspire people. And that's something that goes along with what you do for your career because, like I said, you're different.
Yeah.
There's something in you that you know, David Goggins mentality. Like you don't quit.
Yeah.
You just keep going. And I mean,
I do
that's something.
believe, with that said, and back to that motivation component that you mentioned earlier, I personally have a disdain for the word motivation just because it's so fleeting.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, you can be motivated one morning to go wake up and do whatever. But self-discipline, as you mentioned, self-discipline is a non-negotiable. Regardless of what's going on, regardless of external factors, situations, circumstances, I have to do this. For example, I mean, right now when it's negative degrees outside or it's dark by the time I'm off work, I'm not motivated to lace up the running shoes and put on the headlamp and go out there and
I have to do
in
it.
the dark, but I got a vision, I got a goal in the future, and this is what it's going to take to get there.
Somebody's got to do it. Why not you?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. You mentioned the why me, why not me?
You mentioned goals, and we were kind of discussing before. We all have different ones, and yours just kick
Shit's on
all as it is. It's our asses.
Everybody's got different goals. It's unique to you. It's not against anyone else. It's just you versus you in the goals. But yes, you versus you.
Our goals last year was the Century Ride, which we achieved.
Yeah. You guys knocked out that.
You had 30 miler or 50 miler.
50 miler, and then
50-mile run. We said the bike ride. We did 2 century rides or 100-mile bike rides. You did a 50-mile run.
50-mile trail run, 10,000 feet of up and down in the nice hills.
How long did it take you?
11 hours and 59 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
Just a nice
Just straight moving.
shuffling the feet, one in front of the other, baby.
Man,
It was a great
To
time.
put it into perspective, me and Tom, I believe, finished our second century ride. That's 100 miles on a bike. That took us 6 hours and 40 minutes. You ran 50 miles in 11 hours. That's
I mean, we're 22 miles west of Chicago, so imagine going to Chicago and back and then some.
yeah.
Someone's doing it twice, too, but there and back twice almost from here. Yeah.
How preparing your body for that, that's one thing.
Yeah.
What mentally did you do? I mean, to kind of prepare yourself for that, because you need to
You have to have that
something.
mental fortitude, definitely. It's not just the physical aspect. But I'd say this ties in with one of the driving engines of our coaching system in SCORE is visualization. And using the power of visualization to have that emotional tether in the future of whatever that goal or whatever that vision is that tucks you in bed at night and it wakes you up in the morning. And I will say for those, the race was in April last year, the 50 mile into April. And once I committed in December for 4 months, I am dead serious that every night I went to bed seeing myself cross that line. And that was the first thing that I saw in the morning when I woke up. Because I just framed my day around that, yeah, there's going to be challenges. Yeah, I don't want to lace up the shoes this morning, go out and get it. But the pain in the moment of working out, of going over those struggles is much, much less than that pain that could be there on race day of what if? What could I have done in January to complete this? That pain is much, much more amplified and somewhere that I don't want to experience that pain. I want the pain of the struggle now, not the pain of what if.
So what he's talking about, I witnessed firsthand. It's the worst pain out there. So when I did the half iron and you came out to support me, you remember in Muncie, I trained in 2 months to do a half iron, and it was fucking miserable. And the swim was 30 degrees out. It was 25-mile-an-hour winds in the cornfields, and that time I did the run, it was 70 degrees. I was not prepared whatsoever. And what he's exactly talking about, I experienced at mile 70, and I still had 2 miles left, and I had gotten past the breaking point. It was the point where whole body was numb, and I had never envisioned that crossing the finish line. I had, okay, I'm going to complete one task, and then I'm going to do the other, and then the other. It was never, I had did it completely wrong of never seeing my challenge in complete state.
Yeah.
There's that saying, pain is temporary, but regret, that'll last a lifetime.
Exactly.
Oh, and I still regret it from that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. From that, I always take everything as a learning lesson. From that, what did you really take? Would you have, obviously, you probably could have trained a little bit longer.
I could have trained more than 2 months.
Yes, just going and doing it. I'm sitting over here kind of laughing because I was going to mention, where you ended up.
After.
I ended up doing the race. I did it with pneumonia, and
You got pneumonia. You ended up in the hospital.
ended up in the hospital. The whole body went numb, chest went numb. My heart rate was my resting heart rate was 120 when I was in the car driving back after to Chicago, and I sitting in the car when you look at your watch and it's your heart rate's 125. And I'm like, yeah, this is not a
What's
good
going
thing.
on here? Come on.
And so we went in, they did all these tests, and they're like, yeah, you have walking pneumonia. I had no idea going in. And nutrition was one thing. I think more visualization.
Yeah.
I mean, from sports to business, definitely visualization. Every single day I'm doing of never have a day you haven't already had. From meetings to working out in the morning to what do I want to accomplish tomorrow? Like you said, so it tucks you in and wakes you up in the morning where you are actually motivated to go do, some people aren't motivated to go to work. I love working every single
Agree.
and having that thrill. I think I was more focused on that half Ironman of just saying I did it instead of finding thrill in it. Obviously, there's no thrill in it from mile.
When you're in the band cave, when you're there,
Dan sent me this video before I had started. It was in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Race starts at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and Dan recorded a video of him screaming, motivating me.
I'm sitting here going, what did I say?
I still have it on my phone. And mile 65 in the cornfields, and that's what I thought of was the video of Dan giving me this pep talk. And I was like, I'm walking. I can't feel my legs or my arms. And that's a good trait. And I was like, this is not good.
This is hell. Yeah. But yeah, we design a life blueprint for all of our clients. And like you said, it segregates your life into standalone arenas. It helps you create, as you just mentioned, Griffin, a roadmap to whatever that individual defines as success. Success is unique to you, Dan. Your success is different than Griffin's. Griffin, your success is different than mine. And so the client defines what success looks like. And then all we do is coach them in our thought management system, SCORE, a federally registered system to help them achieve whatever their success looks like. And SCORE is an acronym for self-discipline, concentration, optimism, relaxation, and enjoyment. And those are 5 markers that are intrinsic to all 8 billion individuals on this planet. We all have, as we say, a SCORE level. So how's your attitude? How's your mindset? How's your SCORE level? It's the same question. Because all of your thoughts accumulate your SCORE level, and by balancing those markers, actually trigger neurochemicals. So each of those markers, self-discipline, concentration, optimism, relaxation, and enjoyment, when balanced at their highest level, trigger natural body chemicals to get us into that peak performance zone state that we've often heard about, whether that be in sports, whether that be in business, what have you, but the zone is innate to all of us.
Yeah, it's an incredible state, and you don't really realize it until you're out of it. And so I've been a proud client and friend of Jim's. We've been using him for 15. When my father started using him in 2007 or 2008, and then I started using him back in 2016, 2017.
Yeah, very
and
awesome.
yeah. And backstory: Caleb and I were roommates for 4 years at Coastal Carolina University down in Myrtle Beach.
Good times.
But no, Jim, he's I mean, I don't know where I would be today without the SCORE system.
Yeah.
And so I give it all to him. The never having a day you haven't already had, never having a meeting you haven't already had,
Yeah.
envisioning that end state, and even the intuitiveness that that we were talking about earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I've gotten to know Jim, had a few, meetings with him, and when we met him when he originally came in here, when we first started,
Right when we
yeah, so we read his book, and right away, he asked me, we did our close our eyes, we're visualizing, I think it was like our favorite place. In mine, obviously, like
We were on the football. He was here for that one. You took the information right out of your.
he's looking at me, he's like, yours was a sporting event. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, football? I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, Caleb, you definitely told him all this. But then he was like, linebacker? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, it's getting creepy. I was like, and that's not the only time. Like, he's been in tune. I mean, obviously in sales, there was one, this one's going to close. I was actually on vacation while I was out there, and I got the call, hey, we're going in a different direction.
He calls me and goes, dude, I suck at my job.
Like,
Man, am I bad at sales?
Had those seeds of doubt and expectations don't meet reality.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, this was like after like 3 no's in a row, and you're just kind of butthurt, but
Yeah.
so much that we always talk about is just next. And,
That's
the motto.
next. And that's what I've learned from last year and everything. It's just on to the next one and next. But that same day, so I'm down in Florida. I get a call. I'm sitting on the beach. I'm all butthurt. I'm drinking my blues away.
Yeah.
And I get a call. Jim Fan. I'm like, what are the odds? I answer this. I'm like, hello? I'm like, hey, Jim. I'm like, what's going on? He starts talking to me. And I'm like, it's just odd that you called me today. We haven't talked in a month and a half. Maybe it was less. But it was just odd that he called me on that day, out of the blue. And it just happened to be the day that I was down on myself. Like, I was down. And, I remember talking to you. I think it was like a couple days later. I think I got back, and I was like, Caleb.
He called me on the way home. I think it was around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you were heading, and I was like, man, you'll never believe it. I was like, he called me like on a day when I needed it most, and you were just like, he's in tune, man. He's in tune with the earth.
Exactly.
And I was just like, yeah. I mean, there is something about him, and for our viewers who haven't met him, go to one of his talks, watch his videos, because he is, there's something about him. Just as I kind of mentioned earlier, there's something about you that's different.
Yeah.
And he has it. He is very in tune with who you are. He's soon focused, and he talks about it. And there's people that talk the talk, but there's people that walk them. He is it.
Every day
Product.
he is.
His product that he's shown us, that he talks about, he is it. And
Yes.
I'm not. He's different, and it's just really impressive what he does and what he preaches to people. So
Absolutely. And that intuition piece, Dan, that you mentioned is one of the biggest attributes of the zone, because we are all intuitive, whether we know it or not. We have that capability. Because one of the fascinating things is when you're in the zone state, the conscious mind, the analytical, the reasoning mind shuts off and takes a back seat to the subconscious. And our subconscious is connected into the universe. It can pick up information, picks up our thoughts. All of our thoughts are being broadcast into the entire universe, whether we're aware of it or not. People can read our thoughts. Moms are great at intuition. Moms can pick up when their son is down. But that's all it is. It is being in that state to where, because Jim has the ability to just turn that conscious mind off and just be present and not think. But that's extremely hard, just not thinking, especially in today's society, today's world.
Close your eyes.
Read
Maneuver,
moods,
John.
do that.
Yeah.
But that intuition, and that's what he is. He's just picking up on the thoughts that you're having, because whether you know it or not, those thoughts are not just staying in your head. They're being broadcast to everyone, and they have the ability to pick up on those if they're also in
That is
the
true that you could be down, but the second you walk in, people read your body language.
Yes.
And that goes hand in hand with what you're thinking in your head.
I was just saying, I mean, we obviously work together, and I see him most days, when he's not traveling the world. 14.
He's usually on
traveling all over the place. But when I do see him all the time, you can read when we walk in, I can tell, like, oh, something's up. Like, he's not, he didn't walk.
I didn't say good morning.
He didn't say good morning. I walk over. Hey, what's going on? You all right?
What's going on there, man?
You all right? And he's just like, all good, Dan. I'm like, something's wrong. And I'm not the person to give up. I'll keep picking. I'm like, what was it, man? What's wrong? Did you eat breakfast? You didn't have your Wheaties?
I just want to work,
And that's the thing, though. Like, people do start to pick up on things.
Absolutely.
The way he picks them up, though, is different.
Because that is at the intuitive level. Because we have 3 reactions. I'll go into a little talk about our reactions to thoughts. So every thought we have produces 3 simultaneous reactions. We have a physical reaction to a thought. Griffen comes in the office. He doesn't say hi to you that morning. That's a physical reaction that he's having. We also have an emotional reaction that makes us feel a certain type of way. And we can usually mask the first 2. Somebody can mask that physical reaction. You can mask that emotional reaction. But the last reaction, that intuitive reaction, you can't mask. Because that thought is out. As soon as you have that thought, it's out there for anyone to pick up on. And that's that vibe. As you mentioned, you can just walk into a sales meeting and you get an instant vibe if, are these people in the zone, or I get negative energy as soon as I walk in the door. You're picking up on their thoughts without them saying a single word.
It's interesting. And I know we were talking a little bit earlier about goals, and from that, and I know we all have our big goals. We were mentioning that we were giving each other crap because your goals are way more.
I got a lofty goal this year.
That's a lofty goal. Tell us.
Sub 3 hour marathon, 2:57. We have a nice little 6:45 clip for 26 miles. 0.2 come June 1st, Sunday, June 1st, up in Wisconsin, baby.
It's a nice birthday present with your birthday.
An early birthday present for myself there. There you go. Yeah, that's one.
That is impressive.
That we're working towards right now. So we got a 4-month training block, and we're gonna be prime come Sunday, June 1st.
And that was
Those pipes are going to be healing and dealing.
Pick 'em up and put them down.
we felt bad having, you're trying not to drink because you're obviously trying to stay in shape.
Yes.
Great idea having
Well,
you come on a Tequila Talks podcast.
I completely forgot we were doing this, and then you texted me the other day of saying, hey, we were talking about goals or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not drinking till June. And then I looked at my calendar. I was like, shit, we have mine in a week. It's like,
Well, we're not overindulging. We're gonna try a little good tequila today, but
Just
Nothing
glad.
to-
There's nothing to get too crazy.
Nothing
He
crazy.
goes, oh, they make non-alcoholic tequila. I was like, oh, I'm not drinking a non-alcoholic tequila. But we're having the real thing. I go, he's gonna have a sip.
I like it. We got 4 months, so then we'll be fine with a couple sips of tequila. But that's one of the big goals. Dan, I heard you got a nice little goal. You got a goal for this.
And I know my big thing is I'm trying to run 500 miles. I know that's nothing compared to you.
There is no comparison. It's you versus you. As I mentioned before, it's you versus you. That's all it is.
Mine's 500 miles to run that, and then add in biking, rowing, whatever to get to 1,500. So
Yeah.
the bike thing, that kind of now. I mean, I bought a nice bike for the 200, the 2 century rides. I might as well use that bike.
I can consider tricycle.
And we gotta talk about that because I've noticed that a lot of the edits, Mr. Egger, are all on me.
on you.
They're all on me. There's 2 other people here that you can pick on, but I'll take the heat. I like it, but. Yeah, I already got the nice bike. I got the shoes. I got
clipped in.
I got everything. I got the helmet. I got some nice sunglasses. So
That's speed, baby.
yeah, that's
speed.
One speed only.
yeah. So the biking, that's just got to come naturally because I already did that last year. So I'll just continue that. It's a good, healthy exercise. It's easy. Got to put these big tree trunks to use. So
Hey, come on now. They can turn out some power.
Those things in tights.
That's his line. Don't get full, baby.
I was in Mary Poppins in high school, man. I was in a leotard. It was awesome, but.
Okay, let's get back on track here.
But what about you, Griff? I know you got some.
We got a handful. We got one for each quarter. The mileage, 2,025
I like it.
for the year. So it's about just over 5 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing biking and running together. As of today is the 23rd. My pace right now is about 4.9.
Mm-hmm. I'm just run on.
But it's -6. But you ran outside the other day, different breed.
It is
But different. So I'm gonna stay there.
gotta love it.
We have the Murph under 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're doing the Murph this year.
Definitely under 40 minutes.
We did it. Was it 2 years ago? We did it at 40 minutes. So
We're trying to beat that.
for the Murph, for the viewers, the Murph is a 1 mile run, 300 bodyweight squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and then another mile run, all while wearing a 25-pound weighted vest. So it's a great challenge. It's
All the donations go to charity.
yeah, Lieutenant Murphy, part of the movie. Was it
Lone
Survivor?
Really?
Yep,
On that.
Excellent movie.
great movie.
So great cause, great everything.
Absolutely.
And then I think we're gonna be doing another not century, but half century, and then
yeah,
hopefully a marathon.
Excellent.
And that's the year.
So I think
It's books. We're trying to go on vacation. We're trying to go to Berlin. It's freaked into the Berlin Marathon here.
Nice.
We didn't make the list, but if we raise money via charity, we can get in. So we're hoping to do that, and then parlay that with a little.
we do got our
That's excellent.
we got our one of our goals is 1 million steps by quarter one. So it's like 11,111 steps a day.
A day. All right. That's easy.
But when we sit at a desk all day,
Mm-hmm.
I've been walking. I'll walk around.
Like get up, walking after every call, get some steps in.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a lot tougher than you think working in an office.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Because you gotta work out every day, and most of the time you just have to, walking. How fast could you walk? I know we got short little legs. You're a little bit tall. You got long strides. You gotta.
this guy in the room right here.
Yeah, that's.
These guys are last night. The big laid too. Come on now, you got to know.
Stronger than everybody.
Bench the most. I squat the most. I run the fastest.
You're literally the weakest, the slowest, and like the most endurance person in this room right now, and that's including Edgar.
Oh wow, come on, that's a low blow over there.
Man, that's no.
Gotta visualize. You gotta want it.
Gotta want
Yeah.
it. I know.
Yeah.
We were talking about visualization. What could you add to that? What could our viewers and us, like, what could we add to besides visualization? What else could I do to like mentally prepare myself for hitting a goal, for breaking?
Dan has a big meeting next week, or he wants to achieve a large.
Maybe it's not something athletic. Maybe it's like he said. Maybe it's a big meeting. Maybe
absolutely.
What could we do besides visualization to kind of take us to the next level mentally?
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, as Griffen mentioned a little bit earlier, that B to A principle, because a lot of people are trained. I'm at A, I'm gonna draw a straight line to B, and that's the fastest way to get there. But it's not. Just like with New Year's resolutions, why do so many people? We have that Quitters Day, January 10th. Start off hot, the motivation's there. We're rolling, and then boom, 2 weeks later, the shoes are in the closet. put the bike away.
I hate going to gym or gym
junk.
because it's so crowded.
Yeah.
Yesterday there was for 100 people. It's crazy.
Can't go to Lifetime at 5 o'clock anymore right now. But we go in the mornings, but you know, if you do go after work,
It's brutal. But as for example, for preparing for a sales pitch, you have to think, not just going in pre to that meeting, but by the time that meeting is over, what do I want that prospect to, one, think? What do I want them to feel? And then lastly, what do I want them to do as soon as our conversation is over? So you're going to that end goal. You're not just seeing yourself give that presentation. You're not just, yes, I'm going to pitch this person, but how is your service or your product impacting their life down the future? Think about it from that way. So not just, it's that end goal. It ensures that we finish.
But to that extent, when you go into a meeting and you have that meeting, visualize ABC company, they are a client.
Yeah.
July 1st, they're going live. Envision them being happy. Envision them
Exactly.
finding success of working with your company and being happy, and you've taken off a huge burdensome of them. And now they're a successful company because of you, but they're not a client yet. You have to envision that.
And you have to also paint that picture in their mind, because it's not just, oftentimes in sales, it can be very transactional, but you're opening long-term relationships.
It's two-way street.
What you're doing,
I
absolutely.
always love, Jim always says, we're not closing deals, we're opening relationships, you know, and that is, to get mentally thinking like that, that is what you're doing. You're becoming a resource. And I know, like, one of our things is, obviously, my family, we were just at the Illinois Restaurant Association, their annual meeting. It was a great success. And, you know, Scott Weiner, I believe that he's the new chairman of the board. He gave a great speech about, you know, restaurants are hurting. And one of our goals is to grow our industry into the restaurant and hospitality. And I always view it when I go and meet with them that we're going to help. Like, what I'm coming here to do is to truly help you. That's how I envision it.
Well, your grandpa didn't open Bonavino's to worry about HR and payroll. You opened it because he had passion.
Nobody, definitely the restaurant industry, and I mean every industry. Any entrepreneur, any business owner, founder, they got in it because they had an idea and they went for it.
Yeah, or they're passion. Here's passion. You don't like, you know what? I have something, a unique ability that I want to provide to the masses that I don't want to hold in. I want to help people from all walks of the world,
no matter age, religion, sex, vocation, whatever it is. Yeah.
Like, he's not worried about payroll or workers' comp. He's worried about that. And that's how I visualize it when I go in meeting with restaurant owners or anybody really, but it's mainly that I'm like, I can relate to you, and I know, like, this will help you. So that's how I envision it from, you know, a sales side, but
a different tool outside of just the visualization, in Zone Coach, we call it the magic mantra. But every day, regardless of if you're in a sport, if you're a pitcher, if you're a golfer, if you're a salesperson, if you're a leader of a company, you have to sell you on you every day. You have to have a magic mantra, a heart statement, whatever that is, that I am the best at X, Y, and Z. I am this person. You have to make declarative statements to yourself, because in sales, there's a lot of no's in sales. And the ego can get hit hard. When those expectations,
got quite the ego.
When those expectations don't meet reality, they can affect us. And how do we handle that? But a magic mantra, whatever that may be in your vocation, like I said, if it's sport, if it's parenting, if it's in academics, whatever that is, but I am positive power statements that you truly embody, and you own that when you're saying that.
Like to that point, in my bathroom on my mirror, similar to your mirror, I have sentences of I will achieve this. All of my goals in past tense, knowing that I have achieved those. And then when I listed out all my goals for the year of, you know, the array of them, I put them all in past tense, meaning that I have achieved them.
Yeah. I like it. 'Cause that's one thing too with just the way we frame our goals and the way we talk to ourselves. Saying
It's
something
just a number or just a this or a that. It's like, no, you have to speak it into fruition.
You definitely do. And one thing too, like, so if you say, for example, on my mirror are two things, that I am a sub 3 hour marathon runner and I am running 100 miles. Not I will run a sub 3 hour marathon or I will run 100 miles, because When you tell that, again, back to the subconscious, that's a future tense thought. So today that it's not going to happen. Tomorrow, that's still in the future.
Yep.
You have to phrase it in the present tense that right now I am a sub 3 hour marathon runner. Not I will run a marathon in sub 3 hours. I am running a sub 3 hour marathon, and be that person, be that individual today with your thoughts long before you achieve that vision or goal.
I love it.
And that's a different way to think about it, because those people think that.
But you see it every day and you read it every day.
Yeah.
You brush your teeth in the morning, you wake up, you read it. You brush your teeth at night, you read it before you go to sleep. You know?
Yeah, because most people think just saying, I will close X amount of sales this year is a positive statement.
Anybody can say anything.
But it's actually not, because your subconscious takes it literally.
I'm going to golf a 68 this year.
Yeah. So that I will component is a future tense. So make sure that those goals, whatever those mantras are present tense, that I'm doing that right now. And you're that individual today.
Another nice one is Jesse Itzer does this every year. He does word of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm going to live by this word throughout the year.
Yeah.
And the principles and actions that I do, I'm going to live by. And every year is a different word, a different meaning, and things like that. So we had talked about it a couple weeks ago, and Dan had asked me, he goes, "What's your word of the year?" And I said, "Dominate."
Dominate.
We filled out this thing together. So mine's resilient.
Mm-hmm.
That's my word of the year. So I don't know. I got one. What do you got?
We're throwing you on the spot.
Yeah, almost. I think mine might be commit.
I like that.
Commit all in, because whatever lofty goal, whatever vision, whatever big goal in the future, commitment comes with a price. So success comes with a sales tax, and that's sacrifice. And every day the piper is knocking on the door, collecting that tax. He doesn't care if it's snowing or 3 degrees outside. He doesn't care if it's windy, if it's raining. He doesn't care how you're feeling. He's coming to collect that sales tax.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of how you feel. And the piper is going to get paid every single day. So my word is commit, just to be fully entrenched, fully bought into what I have on the future. Because, again, that price for success is most people don't want to pay that, just because you have to sacrifice time, energy, thought,
So
money.
when you map out your time of the amount of time that's in your day, you actually have more time than you realize.
Absolutely.
People think, oh my God, I do this or do this. But when you actually set out your time, you're not sacrificing anything. You're making time for your creators that easy to want to enjoy.
You create time, yeah. You prioritize what's important
To you.
in your life.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, I wanted to ask this. Like I said, I was really excited to have you on, because when I first met you, you had this necklace on, and I'm like, where do you go? And you were always saying this saying, and I was always just, at first I was like, well, whatever. But then, I started to learn about you, learn who you are.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if you want to share what you always say, and I know you have your necklace.
Got my necklace, I got it tattooed on the arm as well, but it's you owe you.
I love it.
And that's all it is, because like I said, there's no comparison in the race towards success. Everybody's success is different from one another's, but it's every day showing up to be the best version of you. We all have our own unique dreams, our goals and visions, but every day you got to make that commitment to, I'm paying myself first. I'm taking care of me. I owe anybody else, because all that, the external validation, the awards, the praise, that all comes. But you got to start with, make that commitment to yourself that I wake up in the morning, I owe me today.
And I've got
That's
it. And I know he's known you longer, but definitely want to cheers to you on that, because you not only you've lived you lived that saying, and that means a lot when you have something so ingrained in yourself, and so that is who you are. And that you live by it,
And I have to, yeah.
exactly. And I always like that. So
It's an excellent way. I think that's a great way to wrap up episode 5 with Caleb Claton from ZoneCoach Consulting on You Owe You.
You owe you, baby, every day.
Dominant. This is where it is. And your word again?
what was it? Commit.
Commit. I
Commit.
think on that note, cheers. Episode 5. Thanks for coming.
Books, thank you guys so much for having me.
Till next time.
Thank you all.